In the corridors of financial history, few names echo with as much mystery, influence, and intrigue as the Rothschild family. For over 2 centuries, their legacy has shaped the very foundation of modern banking, global trade, and even the destinies of nations. Their rise began not with crowns or armies, but with something far more powerful: money. As Nathan Rothschild once implied, the one who controls the money supply controls the empire. And for a remarkable period in history, that empire was theirs. Our story begins in 1744, in the cramped and segregated Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt, known as the Judengasse. Within its narrow streets lived Meyer Amschel Rothschild, a man of modest origin, but extraordinary vision. Life there was harsh. Jewish citizens were heavily restricted, unable to leave after sunset or participate in public life. Yet from this world of limitation, Meyer would rise to change the financial landscape of Europe forever. Originally destined to become a rabbi, Meyer's plans changed after the sudden death of his parents. Seeking stability, he became an apprentice in a banking house, where he discovered his fascination with rare coins and antique currencies. These collectibles were treasured by European elites, and Meyer quickly saw the potential in catering to their financial and cultural desires. His keen eye and business acumen soon caught the attention of Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, one of the wealthiest nobles in Germany. Impressed by Meyer's skill, the prince appointed him as court factor, an official financial agent. This position gave Meyer unprecedented access to European aristocracy and laid the cornerstone of the Rothschild financial dynasty. Determined to expand, Meyer trained his 5 sons to master the art of finance. He then sent each one to a different European capital: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt. Together, they built the world's first multinational banking network, capable of moving information and gold faster than any government. Meyer's golden rule was simple: maintain unity, secrecy, and absolute family loyalty. By spreading across Europe, they minimized political risk while maximizing profit and influence. Then came war, the ultimate opportunity for financiers. During the Napoleonic Wars, the Rothschild network became indispensable. While Jacob Rothschild in Paris financed French interests, Nathan Rothschild in London backed the British side. Their private couriers and coded letters allowed them to transmit vital news faster than any state system. When Nathan learned of Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo before the British government did, he acted swiftly, buying British bonds when panic had driven prices down. When news of victory reached London, bond prices soared, earning him a fortune and solidifying his reputation as the financial genius of his age. Yet their growing wealth also drew suspicion and resentment. Many saw them as symbols of capitalism's excess and as power brokers operating beyond national boundaries. Anti-Semitic propaganda painted them as puppet masters of global politics. Despite these accusations, the Rothschilds continued to shape Europe's economy. They financed railways, coal and steel industries, and major infrastructure projects that fueled the Industrial Revolution. By the mid-19th century, they were not merely bankers, they were kingmakers. Their loans rebuilt France, after its defeat in 1871, stabilized the British Empire's control over the Suez Canal, and funded global enterprises like De Beers and Rio Tinto. They were deeply involved in the creation of modern global markets and even supported the early ventures of industrial titans such as John D. Rockefeller. Jacob Schiff, a financier closely connected to the Rothschild network, helped Rockefeller secure crucial transportation deals that gave Standard Oil its dominance. The family's influence reached beyond business. They were patrons of science, art, and education, funding museums, universities, and research institutions. Their private collections enriched Europe's cultural heritage, and their philanthropic work established hospitals, orphanages, and libraries across the continent. In Britain, one Rothschild became the first Jewish member of Parliament, another the first to be elevated to nobility. Yet power rarely lasts forever. The 20th century brought revolutions, wars, and political upheaval. The Rothschild Bank in Naples was the first to fall, closed in 1863 after Italian unification. The Frankfurt branch, the original family home, ended in 1901 due to a lack of heirs. During World War II, the Nazi regime seized their properties, art and wealth across Austria and France. Many family members fled, and those who remained faced imprisonment and extortion. The Paris branch survived the war, but was later nationalized by the French socialist government in 1982, a symbolic end to their European banking dominance. Still, the Rothschild legacy refused to vanish. In the 21st century, their descendants reorganized the family holdings, merging their businesses across Europe into a single financial entity. Today, the Rothschild Group manages over $100 billion in assets and remains one of the most respected private banking institutions in the world. Their interests now span finance, energy, real estate, and even fine wine, with over 24 vineyards under their name. But beyond the wealth and myth lies a deeper story, a story of vision, resilience, and adaptability. The Rothschilds understood that information was the true currency of power. They mastered it, used it, and protected it across generations. They knew that while kingdoms could crumble and wars could destroy cities, money, if wisely managed, could transcend all borders. Their influence even extended into global politics. The 1917 Balfour Declaration, addressed directly to Lionel Walter Rothschild, publicly expressed Britain's support for the establishment of a Jewish homeland. While historians still debate the extent of the family's role, their philanthropic and political engagement undeniably contributed to the eventual founding of the State of Israel in 1948. For all their achievements, the Rothschilds remained deeply private. Their motto could well have been, "Speak little, act greatly." They preferred quiet power over public glory, control over spectacle. In that silence, they wielded an influence that shaped modern finance and, through it, the world itself. From the narrow alleys of the Frankfurt ghetto to the grand halls of European power, the Rothschilds transformed adversity into empire. Their story is not just one of wealth, it is one of strategy, vision, and endurance. They remind us that history often turns not on battlefields or thrones, but in counting houses and ledgers, in the quiet calculations of those who understand the true engine of civilization: money. And so, as we look at today's interconnected world of markets, digital banks, and invisible wealth, the Rothschild legacy remains a silent presence. Whether admired or criticized, their mark on history is undeniable. They were the architects of modern finance, the invisible hand behind empires, and the family that proved, more than any other, that knowledge and capital can rewrite destiny itself. Empires crumble, fortunes rise and fall, but the pulse of finance never dies. For more hidden truths behind the world's money and power, subscribe for more.